Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. What if I told you one of the biggest mistake organizations make during HR transformation is celebrating the number of integrations they have? I have heard people proudly say, we have 120 integrations, almost like it's a badge of honor. But here is the uncomfortable truth. I have worked on projects with 20 integrations that ran beautifully, and I have worked on projects with 80 integrations that were constantly failing because more integrations don't create better automation. Well, in many cases, they create more complexity, more maintenance, more testing, more failures, and ironically, more manual work. Let's start with the myth. The more systems we connect, the more automated our organization becomes. It sounds logical. Every integration moves data automatically. So, more integration should mean more efficiency, right? No, not necessary. Because integration isn't automation. Automation is business simplification or business process simplification. Those are two completely different things. Let me share a story. A global organization had just completed an HR transformation. The project team proudly presented their architecture. Well, Employee Central, Payroll, Finance, Identity Management, Learning, Recruiting, Travel, Facilities, Time Management, Active Directory, BW, Benefits, third party different interfaces. Everything looked impressive on the architecture diagram. Until 6 months after go live, one small change happened. HR added a single custom field in Employee Central and built some business rule. That one thing triggered failures in multiple downstream systems. Payroll mapping broke, identity management platform stopped provisioning accounts, reports were incomplete, a third party vendor rejected incoming files. The problem wasn't the new field, the problem was the architecture. Every new integration increased the number of dependencies. So the organization hadn't built automation, it had built a chain reaction. Here is what I see repeatedly. Organizations often ask, what systems can we integrate? Instead of asking, what problems are we solving? Technology becomes the goal instead of business outcomes. Every new integration introduces more interface to monitors, more mapping logic, more transformation rules, more testing during upgrades, more security reviews, more documentation, more operational support, and more failure points. Each interface may seem small on its own, but together they create an ecosystem that is difficult to change. And HR transformation is all about enabling change. So, what a good architecture looks like. Before approving any new integration, they should ask, can we eliminate a system instead? The best integration is often the one you don't need. The question number two, which they can ask, is which system owns this data? Every data element should have one authoritative source. If employee data exists in five different systems, you have already created future reconciliation problems with data. Question number three, can we redesign the business process instead of integrating it? Sometimes the request isn't for an interface, it is for better process. Question 4 could be, does this integration create measurable business value? Not technical value, business value. Will it reduce manual work, improve employee experience, reduce compliance risk, improve decision making? If not, why are we building it? Question 5. What happens during the next upgrade? Every integration has a life cycle: design, build, test, deploy, monitor, upgrade, support, and retire. If your architecture cannot evolve easily, it won't scale. When organizations estimate integration costs, they usually budget for development, but development is only the beginning. The real costs come later. Regression testing, support teams, monitoring, incident management, security reviews, vendor coordination, documentation, performance tuning, and every interface becomes another asset your organization owns, even if nobody remembers why it exists. Instead of asking how many systems are integrated, system owners should ask what business process became simpler, what legacy systems can we retire, how many manual activities were eliminated, where is the single source of truth, can this architecture support acquisitions, reorganizations, future growth without major redesigns. Those questions reveal whether you are building an architecture that is resilient, not just connected. Here is the lesson I want you to remember. Automation isn't about connecting every system. It is about designing business processes that are simpler, faster, and easier to change. The organizations that succeeded are not the ones with the most integrations. They are the ones with the clearest business goals and architecture. Because every unnecessary integrations adds complexity. Every unnecessary complexity slows transformation, and every unnecessary delays affects the business. So next time someone says, let's build the another integration, pause and ask, what business problem are we solving? The single question can save months of work and years of technical debt. I would love to hear your perspective. What is the largest number of HR integrations you have seen in your organization? Did they simplify the business or they create more complexity? Subscribe and share your experience in the comments. See you in the next video.